it's just going to be super painful. We have seen so many spectral plagues in a very painful way. Everybody just gets bursted down.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on that one. But at the same time, you do have yourself the Zenial for that, that easy response. And there is a point in time here wherein at least Reborns has a composition that doesn't really commit to being all up in your face. They have the lore that can do that, but you can just dive out. So being able to dodge that Spectre Plague definitely is gonna allow her. Is gonna be quite possible for her. At the same time, you also have that Joker, some really good again combo burst bombardment from pretty afar. And Ryoma and Zenial, I think they're good enough of heroes that they can absorb damage once they get the items from the Zenial and Ryoma to a certain extent. Having Alice as well, being a range at by herself, can just allow her to kind of give that support from a range. It doesn't have to be in the middle of the fight like a Lombard does, but in any case, it's gonna be Riku and Luxuria to cast game number 1. So guys, take it away. Oh, I request a duel and Riku. Take it away.
Okay, thank you for that one, Sarai. And we are here in the first match of the quarterfinals. Alongside me, I do have Riku, who just went through that draft alongside yourself. And Riku, how are you feeling? To reiterate that, what team do you think has the upper hand here based on the draft?
For me, I would have to put it to Reborn. Maybe early game, I'd like to see Reborn just try their level, what do you call this, level 4 spikes more, and as well as combine all their initiation strength and their roaming potential with that Alice. But when late game comes, I feel like it's a little bit harder for Reborn to actually finish the game as they have Kreda in.
Yeah, there's just gonna be the lumber, just jumping over there, going for a bit of poke. But so far, neither team being too aggressive.
That is correct. Mainly, the another reason why I prefer Reborn's composition. Hold on.
Well, there's going to be the Zephyrs jumping over the wall onto Sofa, picking up the first blood for their team. Unity taking that one home, and just in time to rotate back down to the Abyssal Dragon that's about to come off up. But Excalibur staying in the fight a bit too long, is able to jump out that one, however, and is going to leave it up to Zed and
Well, you look at that. A lot of members from Unity super low.
Yeah, you can see them actually being forced back there, and this play by Reborn to keep on the pressure, or Unity actually getting caught out, allows the side of well, it allows them to deny that initial Abyssal Dragon, and in fact go for it for themselves. Although you can see right now Ryoma going very low on HP. It's gonna actually allow Chaitu to notice the Abyssal Dragon being taken, almost gets but isn't gonna quite find it, and Reborn do secure the first Abyssal Dragon of the game for themselves.
Very smart. I feel like Unity was a little bit too greedy there. Had to suffer a couple of casualties, forced to go back to base, and that's the reason why they had to leave the Abyssal Dragon off guard. With that said, Joker managed to chip down the Abyssal Dragon in time, with Mayhu doing the tanking duties, and that's the reason why they were able to secure the very first Abyssal Dragon. But at this point, looks like we're going to see Spirit Sentinel getting pressured here as Mayhu spots this one out.
Yeah, Mayhu just sticking around nearby, clearing up his jungle. Not sure if he knows the lumber's in there, and I don't think so. He's going to walk right in, face checks the bush, but look at that level advantage. Mayhu on this Roma already level 6 over to, of course, Zed, who was only level 3 at that point. It just shows how much that early Abyssal Dragon gets you ahead in the game, or at least early game. And they are going to start to roam up here in the top side, leaving fairly untouched for now. And I think that's the key here. We talked about yesterday these 3-man roaming squads to try get off these ganks, these picks, and then you're able to start to, I guess, dictate the way the game goes. And you can see as they now come down to the bot side of the map, just pressuring that Joker, making sure he has to hug that turret. other than that, I think that there's one kill to Unity and the Abyssal Dragon to Reborn. Reborn are technically in a bear standing right now as they catch out Zed, who just walks into that bush, and they're going to be able to get a fair amount of damage down, but need to be careful of the rotation coming through by Blaze, pushing back Asphalt, and they're going to go into the fight. I think joining them was the Zennial midway, and there's the cleanup coming through. 2 kills to the side of Reborn, over to the 1 picked up from Unity, and they're chasing down for more. Chai2 very low at the moment, and Blaze gets caught out over the wall, knocked back, and they might be able to pick up this kill even under tower, but no, he's going to be able to escape with a sliver of health, and Joker not quite able to land the skill shot.
Yeah, Restore does wonders. I mean, even though you're just one auto attack away, you can see it flying towards you. Hit that Restore, and it's just gonna be enough. They don't want to be too greedy, too risky. I believe they've already accomplished what was needed there, and that gave them enough space for them to get this Abyssal Dragon.
Well, this Abyssal Dragon won't go down without a fight, and in fact, I'm not even sure. It looks like the side of Unity are going to be able to claim that one for themselves. So Reborn stein that one up, but is going to go into the hands of Unity, putting them back at even for now. But in fact, gold lead and kill lead is in favor of Unity overall, and they just picked up another kill. That Praetor able to take down the L'Oreal with that poke damage, and it's something you really have to respect. And it's, you mentioned before, Unity's team comp is one that, as it goes into the late game, will probably start to have more of an advantage over that of Reborn if they're not able to make any plays and such in this early.
Yes, Siri. They have to take advantage of their arrangement in terms of like their 3-man squads. But at this point, we can see Lubu is a little bit pressuring the Sennial at the top side of the map a little bit. I feel like Unity has the item spikes necessary to pressure them a little bit more. Look at the Praetor waves. Obviously, Asafa and Afsar are having a little bit of a tough time there as Praetor continues on with the pressure. They're going to be doing their usual rounds. And you can see that the mid turret already being chipped down to at least 1/4 HP. That's going to be a little bit tough. And I feel like as the game progresses, Unity has the capability to go dive in.
Okay, so you can see the play here trying to come out by Prem. They're trying to see if they could get the gank onto that of Cypron, Cypranophobia on the Praetor, but he manages to get out from the safety of his team. But with that, there's going to be the Lumber and Zephyr's going down in his place instead. Not enough of a quick rotation from Blaze. He was busy up in the top, and this could turn things around all of a sudden. Even though the mid tower wasn't damaged up until this point, it's going to go down within seconds, and the third Abyssal Dragon that's up will be more than likely going into the hands of Reborn. But Unity, they've been onto it so far. I don't think they're going to let it go over without a fight. Alice trying to hold them off for now and does the right thing, keeps them at bay, and they're able to secure that second Abyssal Dragon for the side of Reborn.
Wow, Reborn is teaching us that patience is a virtue. It was like, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds just hiding in the brush, using the Joker to distract them and try to bait them out. And as they converge all in the mid lane, hey, this might be an easy target, they all just jump in on Unity, and it was so rewarding. After getting a couple of kills, they get that Abyssal Dragon as well. Gold-wise, Unity still is in the lead, but not a significant lead to say that they are, leading a significant one in this game. And at this point, Reborn is doing the right calls. Unity is equalizing everything as well.
Yeah, I think right now it comes up to the fact of whether the next few objectives are taken by Reborn or Unity. If Reborn continue to take more objectives, I think that's the lead they need and what they'll be looking for, say, within the next minute where we see a new Abyssal Dragon on the map. That could be the question, or whether Unity go for the big plays and try to put pressure this mid lane where they almost have this tower down. I mean, you can see they have traded mid for the bomb tower, so it's not complete loss. And you talked about that when you said Unity have managed to equalize so far, but we'll see as this fight breaks down. But it's going to be as far jumping into the thick of it, trying to dodge out on their way back, but Massive healing coming on through on the side of Reborn. Meanwhile, both top laners up in a fight. And this is just Reborn with their draft, having that Zenial. The advantage they have is that wherever they have a four-man fight can all of a sudden turn into a 5v4 instead.
Exactly. But one of the scariest things that could happen is if Unity baits out an angelic splendor from Suraj and then Blaze is just left alone in the top lane and split pushing. That is gonna be super problematic because Reborn has to pick up the pieces afterwards, but Abyssal Dragon is being prioritized by Unity at this point.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going for it, but the steal coming out from Hafsa on that L'Oreal going to be playing big there. Zed going low for Unity. They pick up the kill, taking down that Lumber, following through with that of Chaitu and Excalibur. Soon to fall, could be Cynophone. That's a particularly tongue-twisting name to say. Cyphranophobia, I believe.
Yes.
But the Joker not able to finish off that kill. But there's so much for Reborn. We just talked about the next objectives, whether they were to go into the hands of Reborn or Unity could really swing the things for this game. And it leaves Darkslayer open. I don't think they'll go for it just yet. They might look for some more kills to initiate on, as there's the Praetor in the mid lane. Does get caught out, a lot of damage returned both ways. And I think Mayhu, if he doesn't have the jump over the wall, will be punished for it. He gets the knock up. Excalibur going to go for the follow, but Mayhu is out of there, and there's going to be Ahsoka on the Alice to help him get out to safety just in case. So right now, Reborn are in the lead, 27.4k over to 24.2, as well as the 8 kills to 5, especially after that Abyssal Dragon. And now this is a problem here. Unity started up the last Abyssal Dragon and lost it to Reborn. Will it be the same situation with Darkslayer? But so far, no one knows. Oh, and
Wow.
we'll know until it pops up for them. Sure, now Reborn are like, okay, they really just took that from us, which shows Unity have such great rotation, great macro plays, and that's what you should be expecting here in the quarterfinals now, that these matches are more likely to go to a full best of 3.
Exactly. So, such a fast decision there for Unity. They took a risk and they were rewarded for it. And now they could do. They could try to siege out, get those first tier turrets, and try to contest certain objectives as they do have that Dark Slayer buff. And Reborn, I guess Unity knows and reads. Okay, Mayhu, after getting caught out earlier, almost getting caught out earlier, he will probably not go home just yet or something. So that was the perfect timing, knowing that your main jungler is out and probably went home after being so low. That was probably the mindset of Unity upon making that decision. And at this point, they are at the momentum.
Mayhu on the backline, but might get caught out on his dead. It backfires on him, and they're able to pick up the kill. Soon to follow through with the rest of the team. There's Excalibur joining in on the fight, trying to lock down that L'Oreal, but you can see that Suraj on the Zenial going to join in the fight, and this is the turnaround in fights we talk about with that ultimate, that global presence. Something you've always got to be a bit wary of, as Excalibur now the one to be punished, but he is going to have the help of Zed as he dashes over the wall. Blaze trying to keep him safe with the knockup, but it's not going to be enough, and they're trying to fight for their lives at this point. We see that Asfar going really low, manages to get a double kill. This L'Oreal in the late game, just devastating. We can see over time L'Oreal's the ones to just dodge around every skill shot and pick up triple kills and more. And right now, there's going to be the rest of Reborn trying to hunt down Zed, making sure he does not get back to the base alive, opening up a bigger window of opportunity for Reborn to make a comeback from the comeback Unity just had. So rarely back and forth gameplay we're seeing.
Exactly. Those were 3 hissy fits from Ahsoka in one skirmish, in one 5v5 team fight. And that was very impressive because, again, just as you said, the L'Oreal, Afsar is just going to be dodging all these skill shots. And one of their key players in terms of like damage is Cypranophobia here on the Praetor. So as long as everything is being dodged, then no damage is going to be done, and therefore your mission is not going to be accomplished here. So good job from Reborn. And the thing is, Unity, even though they got the Dark Slayer, I felt like they didn't get the most out of that Dark Slayer buff. So good job again for Reborn for being brave to do that decision and make that call.
Oh, Excalibur trying to go for the steal, doesn't find it, and is going very low instead. Here comes the rest of Unity trying to join in, but you gotta remember that Zenio at any second when he sees the fight going back could jump in. He doesn't save the Joker just yet. He's really holding on to that, instead rotating up to the top to try stop the Lubu, but he doesn't need to do anything at this point as the rest of his team pick up a trade-up kill and actually take down two people from the side of Unity. Now we see the 1v1 skirmish going up here in the top, and Blaze actually having a bit of trouble to fight off this Zennial. And, well, they're going to be able to back off for now. You talked previously on Unity, that Dark Slayer buff they got. You're right, they really weren't able to make so much use of it, but I believe their rotation to go down and at least take that second Abyssal Dragon and then into mid, their macro play in terms of objective taking has been fairly decent, although contested by Reborn a lot of the time. And we see here, it's Mayhu trying to catch out Blaze. Now there's going to be Aspa, Afsa coming up behind him and trying to pick up the kill. Cyrophobia is going to be the first one to go down. And now they're pushing up. They still didn't take that top tower, but they should return up to it and take it with ease. So just a bit of poor positioning there. And I think that's the big thing for Unit and why they've been losing these team fights. It's about the positioning they've been having, whereas Reborn, they're winning out the team fights, and that's what's allowing them to take out on objectives. Oh,
Exactly. Well,
Sofa trying to come for the rescue, and there's going to be the ultimate used anyway, all the way back to that of Prem in the bomb lane.
yeah, good job there for the Hissy Fit. No stuns whatsoever is going to be used to cancel out the channeling of the Sennial ultimate. 7 seconds left on the clock for the Abyssal Dragon to respawn, and full control here for Reborn as Unity is having a hard time trying to get their rhythm back on, as L'Oreal here on Afsar has been shutting them down time and time again, especially with the Purify. It's so difficult. Oh, Excalibur is in trouble.
Yep, and it could be that way as there's no way out of a 1v4 situation like that, and it's just this positioning that we talk about, that in the late game especially, when objectives are so important, you need to make sure you're sticking together with your team, at least being in that 3-man squad or such. But in Excalibur's case, as well as Blaze, who is left up in the top, really couldn't find the safety of his team. So we'll see how the rest of them play this one out, as there's 15 seconds until Darkslayer, and you can see Reborn trying to get control of this top side of the map in hopes to go for that objective, I'd imagine. They do have the mana bunch, but now another 12 seconds until Excalibur's back up. So if they go for a fight, they're more than likely to win out and at least get a pick or two.
Yeah, the Joker is so low at this point. So getting the Dark Slayer, I believe maybe 3 members is enough to take it. I feel like Mayhu and at least Joker should be in a safe distance at least. His Flicker is right up and running as Dark Slayer has been taken, and Lumbar will just try to escape, and he actually just spots that out, but it was just too late for Unity to react, as they're so far behind already in terms of gold. But we'll see. This is the tower defense phase I am talking about. Good hissy fit right there just for safety measures and trying to zone them away. But at this point, look at the tower damage.
Yeah, the damage they're doing to this high ground tower is so immense, and it really has to force the rest of Unity back on this one and possibly give up more objectives, as we see 10 seconds on the next Abyssal if Reborn want to take that and try push their gold lead up to 10k. Right now seeing at 51.8 over to 43.7, which is already quite a substantial amount that you mentioned. And it's just that damage output that they have over the side of Unity. Unity not even really able to defend that tower, and there's going to be the engage coming from the side of Reborn. They go in, and the knock-up in return from Unity, but oh, there's going to be the L'Oreal going down, so it's actually Unity fighting back, but they need to be careful. Zed going low, going to get taken down, so is Chai2. It seems like Excalibur all the way onto the backline, leaving the rest of his team alone, who's going to get picked off one by one, only leaving Blaze and Excalibur back up, but Excalibur putting in the work, taking down that of, I believe it was Prem, and they're going to follow through for Ahsoka on that Alice. And look at this, Unity coming back. Excalibur wasn't in the fight, but as soon as he joined back in, really turned things around for his team, and they managed to get out there with barely a win, 2 people left, but that's gonna do it, and they just need to chase down for that kill onto Suraj. And I think, nope, they're not gonna get it. Suraj able to tank up the damage and
Were
dive
you
over
able to
Blaze.
chase him down?
Just, yeah, not able to find the kill there.
Yes, sir, So at least they brought the ancestral glory already on that Senio. It's not going to be a problem in the next fight. But at that point, this is one of the things that could turn things around. Every time there's a Preda on the opposite side, and they're fighting at the back end, and it's just the tower defense mode that's so easy to land all those skill shots from the Preda. Everything just lines up perfectly. And one of the key members of Reborn just dies immediately at the first 2 seconds of that fight. So one key member is out, and that's the reason why you saw the Zephys immediately head straight out for that Joker. And mission accomplished. Once those are down, only Mehu will be that will be one of those problematic members to just take care of, and that's the reason why Unity won that fight. They're still not out of this game, so we'll see what they intend to do at this point.
Yeah, definitely trying to take down that backline of Reborn is a key win factor for the side of Unity, and we'll have to see if they can do it as they go all in. Zed and Blaze going to be the engagers there, the knockup coming through. They're going to try jump at the backline of Reborn, but the healing is immense, and that's going to be Prem taking down that of Zed. They're chasing down for Chaitu, who's on the run at the moment, but Excalibur left unchecked is able to pick up 1 kill for himself. Now being pushed back under the turret, but Crater going to be able to pick up 1 before he dies. Chaitu jump back in, I think, was able to punish for that. We see Suraj and Ahsoka left, and now the 3-man 3v1 situation make that, and it could be an ace. In fact, Blaze this time trying to look for the kill on Suraj, and they get it. There's going to be the ace for themselves, and what looked like a very messy fight for the side of Unity, in fact it was. Those depths were necessary to make sure they win the overall fight.
Exactly. Cypranophobia was left untouched. Mehu was busy fighting the front line of Unity, and everybody was just pretty much distracted, and therefore Cypranophobia was just hiding behind the walls there. So using the terrain, that's so smart of this Preda player here at Cypranophobia. They did so well. Everybody else from Unity, just as you said, all those deaths were not for naught, as they have managed to take advantage of everything, and they've won that fight. Small victories could lead to a huge turnaround here, because the gold lead is slowly being lost by Reborn here, as it might be a little bit, I think 3k, 4k gold lead for Reborn, unlike the 10k from earlier. So we'll have to see. Again, I did mention early game Reborn is just gonna smash everything out window, but for Unity's late game with that Preda, if they don't eliminate him soon, they're gonna have a huge problem.
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean, and the point of Mehu needing to really get onto that Praetor and punish them. It's a similar situation for both teams, just making sure you can take out those backlines first, because otherwise the damage output they can put down will be immense. There's going to be Zed trying to go in, Hissy Fit slowing him down, stunning him up, getting him away from that, and actually stopping that initial engage, but it has forced the rest of Reborn to back off a bit and allowing Unity to go for this Abyssal Dragon. So now they're 4 Abyssal Dragons to themselves over to the 5 of Reborn, and in fact starting to even things out overall in terms of gold and everything. So right now we're actually going to see a pause. I was going to say right now we would hopefully see a fight, but we're just going to have to hold up on that. Now, you mentioned the fact that it was the early game is the strong part for the side of Reborn, I believe.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and now we see Unity starting to fight back here, and it's Baz. Do you think that's really down onto the positioning they've had in these last fights, or more so Baz just draft being that backhand push?
I think it's both the current scenario of the game and as well as the draft. I feel like Preda compositions is so hard to actually try to finish the game off, just because everybody's just perfectly lined up at your own base. But hold that thought, there's gonna be a fight.
Well, we see that of Blaze and Zed going being the line for their team, trying to hunt down that Prem. They don't find him. He manages to get back on to, well, safety pretty much, but the rest of his team is still caught up. Mayhu actually took down Blaze, I believe. Well, Blaze not dead just yet. Take that back as he does get taken down, but so does Mayhu. So trade outs going everywhere, but Cypranophobia all of a sudden left alone with Zed, who just barely gets out alive. And we see Chaitu, who was left for dead, is going to get chased down, and the kill will go over to them, as well as the Dark Slayer for Reborn. So for Reborn to be up to win out that fight and take this one back is really something in this late game, where it is so much more important for them to get that buff. And they might even be able to finish out. There's no high ground tower left. It's a 4v2 situation, actually. So pretty dire for the side of Unity. And we'll see now as Reborn go in. Great knockup coming through from Zed, but there's no damage to follow up with it. And Prem just got left alone with that of Cypranophobia and was able to easily win out that duel. Here comes Blaze trying to stop them from taking the core, but no one's checking Suraj, and he's just slowly chipping away at that core. They get the win. Reborn, game number 1. GG, well played.
Wow, that's exactly what they needed to do. And I'm really impressed by Reborn after that one engage at the top side of the map, knowing that, Mayhu and everybody else from Reborn were too busy dealing with the frontliners like Lubu and Zephys. And that's the reason why they managed to adjust. Second team fight, okay, Suraj and Mayhu will be busy just trying to zone out Cypranophobia, not giving him that space needed. And it was a GGWP. L'Oreal was just dancing around the battlefield and mission accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, I'm back here, guys. I mean, from Brad's perspective, it was just back and forth. But at the end of the day, if you're not able to kind of capitalize on that, let's say, small window of opportunity here for Unity, they have a Preda who you said, was kind of smart at one point when he was able to make some pretty good Preda waves. The Scourge, he was able to kind of like use that trajectory in good fashion. But when you're going to go up against Reborn, one slight mistake immediately kind of falters for that. And that just happened on the last clash. I mean, around 21 minutes, 22 minutes, it was Unity who got an ace. It was them kind of like setting the pace of the game, but they kind of, I guess, didn't really work their composition to what we kind of wanted to see. And because of that, Reborn had the better of it. But you can't still kind of put out of the equation that Unity, they had the damage as well with the Zephys, but of course at the end of the day, he still had to kind of, put himself out in the front lines and take unnecessary damage, and he just wasn't able to advance through all of that because, come on, it's a L'Oreal and a Joker in the late game. It's just too dang.
Yeah, too dang painful. All the bursts from Joker and just so hard to catch. A L'Oreal and Purify as well,
Yeah.
and a lot of protection and heal from the rest of the frontliners with their heavy CCs. So it's just a really impressive showing for both of these squads. But congratulations for winning game number 1. Reborn just really knew what to do, and it's so nice to see this team adjusting from the get-go, knowing that their previous mistake in that skirmish or 5v5 team fight, okay, let's do something else. Let's not allow Cypranophobia to do his thing. And that's the reason why they won that last clash, which actually put that final nail in the coffin for this game number 1. Reborn, or rather Unity, let's see what kind of adjustments they're going to do for game number 2, because obviously they were correct in what they were doing.
Yeah.
It's just that, how can we make this into a situation where we lead in the early game and make sure that Reborn doesn't come back or not give them the space to get that or to replicate game number 1.
Yeah, it just felt like both of these teams were a little bit uncomfortable in the early game. Like, you saw them both hesitating. There was a point wherein I believe that Ryoma was supposed to die to the Abyssal Dragon there. Wonder Woman was going to go for steal. They did not get the steal. And then that was on Wonder Woman on Unity's side. And then Unity, pats down the road in our match here, was actually able to steal a Dark Slayer with Reborn kind of not having the mindset that they were there, although it could a little bit obvious because nobody was visible on the map, so there was a huge chance the Darkslayer was being taken here. So it just goes to show most of these teams, I think, are either testing each other out or are or they're kind of a bit uncomfortable with trying to scale in this early game because they don't yet how to kind of counter their opponents. And well, it can just transition into the late game. So like you said, since we are already done with game number 1, we will be seeing if game number 2 will be a bit more stable for either one of these two teams.
Yeah, the thing that I like about Unity is that they know how to play from behind. It's just that it's very unfortunate because that last team fight, they had the correct mindset to initiate a fight. But the thing is, your win condition in that team fight is to keep Cypranophobia safe. Therefore, that was one weakness or one of the prime weaknesses of their team composition, and immediately Reborn just won that. And I love the fact I want to see more, different picks, maybe surprise picks again. You said how this is going to be a single elimination, so whoever wins this round will move on to the playoffs tomorrow, which will lead to our grand finale.
Yeah. And we'll just have to see. I mean, they did also pick the Wonder Woman here for Unity just so that she can, protect more of the backline. But as a tank in it and of herself, I could be wrong here, but I feel like she's not as damage absorbent as, let's say, a Xenia would have, as well as maybe a Malik would have. And I felt like that maybe what Unity might have needed to kind of let Preda or Serenophobia do what he needs to do, which is, have a front line to absorb that damage, let him reset. If he did make a mistake with his first Preda wave or his first rotations, at least you have some error time there. But like I said again, because of how they built their composition, it felt more like they had to go correct at their first attempt, or it's not going to work out.
Yeah, or eliminate the.
Yeah, that too. That's a little bit difficult.
Yeah, they only did it once, I believe, or twice. And there was a point where Cypranophobia was sitting on the Hitsy Fit for quite a while.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit worried. I said, okay, they don't have that really scary damage, but you know what? I think we're ready to head on over to the draft.
Yeah, game number 2 draft is gonna be underway.
Yes, Sabri. Let's see if it's gonna be the usual bands. Superman, Zephys, perhaps, or maybe earlier it was Max that was banned. We don't see a Max ban every day in this AOV Summer Championship tournament. But looks like the L'Oreal, that's gonna be a respect ban. That is too much of a headache. I do understand, but let's see what the choices here are. Is it gonna be a Zephys, a Murad, perhaps if they want it, Preda, a Joker. It will really depend what they want here. I'd rather pick Zephys, I suppose, but I think they're gonna go for the Preda.
Yeah, it felt again like we saw from yesterday's matches, or rather from 2 days of matches, that Reborn is more of a team, like you said, that kind of revolves around the Preda and the Ryoma pick. So they're never gonna, give you up Meme Lord here. And then for Unity, they have that possibility to actually kind of widen their scope because they look to be a team that has more, pickage.
Okay, if they do lock this in, this is such a sick draft from Reborn. But at the same time, I really wanted to see the Alice pick, mainly just to take that away, because I've seen so many Seniel Alice combinations, and it just works so well if you pair it with a very good hyper carry hero here at Arena of Valor. But at the same time, when I say hyper carry, I didn't mean Kilgroth. But at the same time, I feel like it could still work. I mean, they don't have the Observer just yet locked in for Unity. But right now, I really love this Preda Joker. Mainly because Reborn played this during our previous stages, I believe, around round 16, where Preda and Joker, they did not lose a match with this one. And it's one of their key strengths. And I'm really expecting a lot from Reborn this time around.
Ooh, we're gonna go a little bit under the sea with that Kilgroth and Crash. I was actually kind of a little bit afraid because there was that pick of Reborn where they went for the Kriknak, and I feel like Kriknak is one of those nice heroes to kind of deter the growth of the Kilgroth, because Kilgroth needs some items, needs some levels to, start being, Kilgroth. And if you get yourself that Kriknak, you start him with your level 4 combo, or when you hit the combo, you start to kind of trickle him down. But Unity do answer with the Crushed, and I do really like that he has that crowd control and extra tankiness that I am looking for to kind of keep your squishies alive.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about this Kilgraf. Because knowing that Zephyr is, I guess it's gonna be their jungler, so I'm guessing Kilgraf is gonna be in one of the side lanes. So this
Yeah.
means Kriknak is gonna have a fun time with the early tower dives, and we know that Kilgraf is such a very sort of weak hero during the early phases of the game, so it's just going to stall his growth, which means that their hyper carry Kilgraf, which they're going to be relying on, might not be in time to save the day and turn things around. But you know what? Maybe Unity has some sort of different plan in mind to make this Kilgraf work. I've seen Zephyr's side laners, I've seen side lane Kilgraf's work, but most of the time, based on my experience, they're getting dove upon time and time again.
Yeah, question now is this Kilgroth gonna be on a relative, let's say a safe lane, wherein the Crash as well as the Daniel will put all of their efforts to give as much support or response to this Kilgroth as possible? Because again, you did put out some really nice talking points here, wherein there's a lot of assassination potential on Reborn side, not only from the Kriknak, but as well as with that Ryoma and even the Teamy as well. Anyways, match number 2 is ready, so Riku and I request a duel. Take it away.
Thank you once again for that, Asarai. We're gonna jump right action on being very aggressive on this initial engagement, and surprisingly so. I mean, in a way, when you look at team comp, in terms of Unity, really having that team comp that is all about frontlining. However, you guys did just mention the facts of that frontline really needs to build up in towards the late game. So we'll have to see whether Unity can make that happen or not, or Reborn might just play this aggressive card from the very start and never give them the breathing space they need. As we see Excalibur being jumped upon, but there's going to be Cypranophobia jumping in to save him, Zed alongside, but they don't manage to secure their own might buff, so everything being taken away from the side of Reborn at this point. But look at Kilgroth on their side. We do have Chai2 on the Kilgroth, able to, I think, steal the Might Golem from their side. So it wasn't quite everything at a loss. This is something we saw Unity and both Reborn have been good at in the first game, is going toe-to-toe for the most part.
Exactly. So that was a good adjustment from Unity. Try to even things out, equalize their losses. And we've seen that pattern from game number 1. And that's the reason why I love this match, our first game for today. And one thing that I'm worried about, or most likely one thing that I thought about, most of the time you place your Kilgroth, or some instances you place your Kilgroth at the top side. So people will choose whether or not, do I leave this Kilgroth free farming at top, or do I prioritize that Abyssal Dragon? So you give your opposite, your enemy team, a little bit of a choice here, but with this, as they're taking the Abyssal Dragon, they'll see.
Yeah, we will see here, as there's going to be a contest. Goes to the hands of Unity. Actually, no, that's First Blood going into the hands of Unity. But they need to back out for now. Or correct me there. First Blood and second going to Reborn. That is Prema on the side. Prem for Reborn. And the Abyssal Dragon did also end in the hands of Reborn, so Reborn actually winning out a lot there. I like this aggressive strategy coming out from Reborn, because so far is definitely paying off. We do see Mayhu getting caught out a bit, but along comes Ahsoka to try soak up the damage, try get the stun off, needs to back out for safety. Excalibur on the chase, picking up the kill. I think Ahsoka will be fine to get out to safety, but there is the punish coming through that we talked about that could be the risk board kind of play style Reborn are going for.
Yes, sirree. Triple punish here for Unity as well. So a lot of objectives that could be stolen, and cooldowns are going to be more managed in terms of taking down either the DS or the Abyssal Dragon. So going back to what I was just saying, I think one of the things that the reason why side lane, rather Abyssal Dragon lane for the Kilgroth, the logic behind is that at least they do have an additional person being involved in team fights immediately when they go for these Abyssal Dragon contestants. And I think one downside to that is that if you dive the what do you call this, the Kilgroth, oops, hold that thought.
Well, Zed going in, he does jump back to safety, but whether he gets out alive is the next question, and Reborn going to be able to pick up the kill for themselves. Another 15 seconds, down to 10, until that second Abyssal Dragon is up. They even get the Sage Golem from the side of Unity's jungle for themselves, and you can see Ahsoka trying to go around the backside to catch out Cypranophobia. Doesn't quite get it, and now, you mentioned that for what Unity have, as we see Reborn picking up that second Abyssal Dragon, is by putting that Kilgroth in the bot lane, he can join in more team fights. And I think that is completely the right call when you have that of the Zenial up in the top, who can join into those team fights at any time. But so far, I think the biggest problem is these 3-man rotations coming out by Reborn, going into the enemy jungle, taking everything away, as we see them catching out Excalibur, taking the buff along with his life, and now going to be rotating back to that mid to apply some pressure. And it's really tough to get away from it. And it's when I looked at the draft initially why I thought Reborn actually have the bear draft, because they have those backline damage dealers. They have Prem on the Joker, they have the Asphalt on the, or Apsa on the Praetor, and those pretty key picks overall in terms of the meta right now.
Exactly. And their 4-man rotation is just so effective because they can repair mistakes with teamies being a bro, and they can just be aggressive as they have that second life, and they have a lot of CCs to work with as well, especially with that Pooty Poot from Ahsoka. So they're really trying to keep with their lead, keeping up with the aggression, just so that Unity has no room to breathe at all.
Yep, and I think that's the key. Last time I believe it was Reborn playing that late game team comp. Oh no, it's Unity playing that late game team comp, and that seems something they're comfortable with, and something that Reborn has figured out so far. Although they are getting caught out right now, as their group has been split apart. They're almost trying to make the rotation down from the bot, but won't get there in time to save as Apsa, and will get taken down himself. So Unity starting to kick back here and actually picking up a few kills. Looks like Teamy not going to be able to get out there even with the second win, and they're going to go and just take the mid tower for themselves. Now the question is, do we rotate to Darkslayer or do we rotate to Abyssal Dragon? They might even try do both at the same time, as we see the Zephys, I believe, down there on the Abyssal Dragon, the rest of the team on the top side. But no, they're not gonna try go for that Darkslayer yet. I think for now they're trying to recompose themselves as they manage to just catch up with the rest of Reborn.
Yeah, that was so messy from Reborn. They were traveling or roaming around as a squad, but at that point, they were so separated. So it was so easy for Unity to segregate and destroy, divide and conquer, if you will. So Unity did a good job just prioritizing key targets, and Teamy was the only person left in their death ball. And at that point, it was just them doing the cleanup. They got their rewards mid lane, but looks like a fight is about to start.
Yeah, and there's going to be the engagement going on. They need to be careful. The Metamorphosis coming out from the side of Unity, and they're going to push on through, splitting up Reborn, which seems to be the best option for them right now, as Ahsoka getting caught out on his own, gets taken down, and we will have to see here as the rest of Unity back off. So 1 kill in that favor, but Kilgroth did get traded out. Not Kilgroth, my bad. Crash did get traded out on that side. So it's like Reborn, once again, very much like the first game in a sense, that we see this back and forth kind of playstyle, as Blaze gonna get caught out, and now we see Reborn back in control of things, at least for a while.
While Reborn is just aiming for towers here. It's okay to get them distracted as long as they're getting all these structures down away from Unity. I feel like that's the correct call. I would take 1 or 2 kills in exchange for, I'd take a tower rather in exchange of 1 or 2 kills any day. They're making the correct call here. Normally, I want to see Unity make or force Reborn to actually fall back and recall instead. Maybe perhaps a Dark Slayer bait. I think that's what they should have aimed for, perhaps. But I guess they weren't that healthy, and a lot of players from Reborn are still more than half HP. Joker has rotated to the mid lane earlier, and as everybody was trying to recall a port back to base. They managed to secure two towers there, one first tier and one second tier turret at bottom.
Yeah, so at this point, it's actually kind of tough to say which team is going to be able to take home the win. As Zed going in deep to the jungle does get the jump over the wall, so back to safety to his teammates there. And the next team fight could break down around this Abyssal Dragon right now. Unity just trying to zone out the side of Reborn. They do catch out that of Sofa, and I believe Mayhu, who are taking a ton of damage. There's going to be, meanwhile, Prema actually taking out Faraz, so two fights going on at once. But finally, they do find that kill onto Mayhu, and it's a bit of a trade out for now. But I would imagine Unity backing off for the most part here, as you can see the Crash doesn't have his ultimate up right now, and they don't really have the CC to back that up. But Reborn did not chase for this objective, and that's going to be the second Abyssal for Unity, putting them even with Reborn.
Yeah, Reborn here, most likely they're the type of team that will work if they do stick together. Unity, it's pretty ironic, but their strategy is to divide them here for Reborn. It's working wonders for them, and obviously Reborn is always forced to retreat as they get in too deep. I do understand the mindset because Tricknack's job is to actually assassinate one of the squishiest targets. Raz is one of the most vulnerable, I believe, but at this point, Dark Slayer is going to be taken down.
However, this time Reborn did take the initiative to start it, and Blaze will be the one to secure it, actually going into the hands of Reborn took that. There's Blaze just picking up a kill for himself. My bad, my correction there. But we do see it doesn't matter. Darkslayer buff gone within an instant for over half of the team of Reborn has Unity are finally fighting as a team and showing their true strength there as they go in. It is also the late game, per se, where we now see Unity's team comp just coming out that much stronger. However, Raz gets caught out underneath the tower. Not the best call there. Went in a bit deep trying to pick up the Praetor. And for now, Prem, fairly full health, has the help of Siraj. They might be able to pick off Zed, but he's jumping back to safety. And that looks like it'll be it for now. So Unity really denying that Darkslayer buff. There's no use in Reborn getting that.
Yeah, I felt like they were a little bit greedy. They could have gotten that first tier turret, I guess, but maybe they wanted that extra gold for themselves to try and get some more out of the vulnerable targets from Reborn, as a lot of people are already low. But at this point, you can see Reborn is just trying to reset the waves, try to put some pressure on the map so that they could try to get that rhythm back, because Unity has been winning all these skirmishes. They keep getting separated, so I wonder how the outcome is going to be if they stuck together and just focus on the kill graph.
Well, we see Unity are going to be the ones to start this up, and speaking about being stuck together, for the most part, they are, except for that of Zed on the Crash. He gets caught out instantly, doesn't even get used Metamorphosis. Then he has to join in on the fight instantly, but they're still caught out in a 3 vs 5 situation, and they're gonna get taken down one by one. The knock-up, however, here comes Cypranophobia trying to do what they can. However, they only take down 2 of Reborn, whereas it's 4 people taken down from the side of Unity, and that is just being caught out for Zed. He got caught out on his own. Great patience from the side of Reborn, even though the Abyssal Dragon fell into the hands of Unity. They won the overall team fight, and perhaps what might push them to win the game as we look at the death timers here. They are going to get a few more objectives for themselves, possibly, but Prem needs to be careful not getting caught out by Crash, who's rejoining in the fight now.
Exactly. I guess my question has been answered immediately, but you'll see how Mayhem might get a little caught out there as he's just trying to secure this turret. He's gonna accept his death, and there he goes. He falls. But I guess it's not mission accomplished because he just wanted to take that second tier turret down at the top side of the map. But that's 30 seconds on the clock. Plenty of time for Unity to try and shove the waves until he goes back online.
Yeah, and now I'm starting to wonder. It seems, in a way, for the most part, that combo there between that of, I believe, Mayhu and Prem.
Oh man.
But, oh my. So right now, I've really got a question that, or was it Mayhu and Siraj maybe?
It's
My
just
my bad.
Prem. It was so
Just Prem?
painful.
Just on
Yes,
their own?
Mehu
That's the
was
Joker at
dead.
the late game, which we can see now as the Joker's left unchecked, taking down Excalibur to very low HP, but the retaliation coming out from the side of Unity with that Metamorphosis. We need to be careful because Praetor's also left unchecked, able to land the poke damage, and this is what I talked about with the Reborn team comp, being able to do so if you don't get to that backline. And we see them being kept alive fairly well, both the carries undamaged up to this point, but Asfa in a bad position, now getting caught out by that Chaitu, and there's going to be the follow-up as they take down Sopa as well, and they're just trying to catch out Prem, but now we see Siraj jumping into the rest of the fight. It looks like Mehu left for dead, and Unity was going to say prior is for the most part, we do see Unity playing a bit of a cleaner game, especially in these team fights.
Yeah, and they definitely took advantage of Reborn's greediness of just wanting to get that tower down. I understand their mindset. They're pretty strong already when in terms of their damage. But then again, Kilgroth, if he's already level 15, and I'm guessing he already has received all his item spikes. It's just that he couldn't just find the correct position. But that was the perfect setup because none of the members from Reborn were there to peel enough for the Preda and the Joker. So if those conditions are set, then that's Kilgroth's time to shine, which worked wonders. Afsar just used everything. Flicker, it's no use. The high mobility assassins on Unity's side. Kilgroth is a problem, and also Zephys and Raz as well during the later phases of the game when when his combo and his burstiness is going to be so painful. But at this point, I feel like Reborn is going to do these death brushes more often because they have the ability to take a pick, an easy pick, because they have tons of burst in their arsenal.
Yeah, and it'll just have to come down to that whole positioning factor that we talked about. We saw Unity suffer to it before when Zed was caught out on his own, and just then we saw what happened when Afsar gets caught out too close to the front lines. So yeah, I think that when it comes down to positioning, Reborn should have the upper hand as long as they keep that backliner safe. But as soon as you get caught out, I think it's over. Unity really have the chase potential with them. And Darkslayer looking to be the next point of interest for both teams. Zed roaming around on his own, needs to be careful. Could actually, I'm not sure if he could see Siraj, right?
Yeah.
Siraj was standing outside just chilling, catching some sunlight, some fresh wind. Bits too stuffy in that bush for him, but he's gonna actually get out safely. So now at least the side of Unity kind of have an idea about where Reborn might be. But look at the spot lane here as Mayhu gets caught out. Excalibur on the rotation, trying to get the gank off. Isn't going to be able to get the kill, even damage traded out, in fact, but they are able to back out and take the Might Golem. Meanwhile, up in the mid side of the map, there's going to be the Prem on the Joker going a bit deep. Doesn't get punished for it, however. So both teams just right now playing this very patient game, knowing this next fight could be the last with their bases fairly weak at this point. And being so late into the game, the depth timers have also got to mean a lot in terms of objective control right now. Try to Ahsoka making a little brawl up here. So once again, it's just this waiting game, this patience between both teams, and waiting for whoever gets caught out position first is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's so difficult to deal with a split pusher Sunil as well, as he can just immediately try to use his ult and join the fight. And that's the reason why, Joker or Mayhu is forced to go back, shove the waves, make sure that we don't lose an objective as we're waiting around if the Dark Slayer is going to be started or not. And we're going to see a mini duel, I guess. Maybe Mayhu's just trying to clear down the waves. So they're going to keep repeating this and see who breaks down first. Who will stop their routine. But at this point, we'll see who makes the first move. It could be Unity.
Well, do remember that I think Unity are playing on the back foot because they want to react to this fight. They know that Blaze can join in time. then they can turn her around. They can kind of bait in the side of Reborn. But there's going to be Cypranophobia getting caught out in the bush, and the fight breaks out. All of a sudden, Metamorphosis is used, and they're jumping onto that of Ahsoka, taking him down, but the second wing comes up, but Raz has none of it, takes him out of the fight completely. Prem getting pushed back on the backline. Blaze going in for the chase as he joins in, and Raz all too late to the party, and this is just what I talked about with that Zenial pick, but he does get punished by I believe by Mayhu, who joined in on the fight, but there's going to be he gets the revive back up into the fight, and now Darkslayer is open for Unity, so big plays coming out right there, and overall, as predicted by Unity, just waiting for that opportunity to get Blaze into the fight for the turnaround, and great positioning, in fact, from the whole side of Unity in that fight.
Yeah, the Death Brush is not gonna work anymore. Unity can read Reborn's movements, and we might actually see a game number 3. Again, they do have that Freda pick. So I did mention, tower defense mode, this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky for the people against a Freda pick, because again, waves are easier to land, wave clear is a little bit tough. You have to wait for the second wave to come in for you to actually attack the turret. Either do that or be brave and dive in. They have the capability to do so, but look at that. Ahsoka might be in trouble here.
Ahsoka does get caught out, and Zed trying to go for the gank around the back. They will get the tower, and Ahsoka now in a bit of a bad position, getting pushed back into the CC chain coming through from Unity. Will go down, and surely that's going to cure there as Excalibur picks up that kill. So now with the man advantage, it's going to make that job of pushing the base that much easier. As we said, it is a bit of a problematic thing here. There's going to be Metamorphosis for the engagement. They need to get the tower out of the way, but they don't care about for now. Mayhu is the priority as they take him out of the fight soon. Jumping onto the backline, trying to take out Prem on the Joker, but he is backing off, trying to, now we see that it's Afsa and the Joker left, the only Asa and Prem, but I don't think they have what it takes to stop them from taking down the core here. Blaze gonna use the ultimate just to make sure they get the shield healing and to get through onto this core. That's gonna be game number 2, this time going over to Unity, 1-for-1, and what a matchup. If it's any team from so far, these two teams are going really at it so evenly that's too hard to call during the matches, and I wouldn't ask for anything more than a third match between the two teams.
Yeah, that was a really, really great call from the side of Reborn, or Unity rather. They did so well. They played to their strengths in their composition, especially with Senial. And with that last fight, I feel like it could be a potential miscom, because Pooty Poots, I saw that teammate was running away from the squad, but he went back to do that, to activate the stun, but there was no follow-up whatsoever. So I feel like, you know, that was the signal for them, okay, let's go in. Being a bro is not going to be available. And with that, it was just the turnaround, the key to finish the game so easily, because I see countless squads having a difficult time against Joker and Freda, so I'm really happy about this turnout.
Happy with the turnout because game number 3 is gonna go underway in just a moment there. I mean, at the biggest part of it all, it just felt like once you reach that late game, the Crashed and the Kilgroth combo is kind of disgusting to look at. Like, not in a bad way, but in a very, good way for Unity here. So basically, Crash activates his ultimate. There's a huge wave. They line up. They get stunned. He gets that extra shield. He gets to absorb more damage. Kilgroth goes in, has a little bit of the freebies, and just smacks everybody down left and right, and it just happened ever so smoothly.
Yeah, especially if everybody is just in that small area, just stunned in that small area. It's just cleave for days for that Kilgroth. Imagine everything, like a full itemized Kilgroth. It's just gonna be insane. And there's no response whatsoever. If you don't have that CC lockdown and just allow him to land all those auto attacks, it's just gonna be so difficult for Reborn. And the thing is, the Kilgroth was allowed not a lot of space, but he was allowed to grow into this killing machine. And that's the reason why a lot of Reborn members had a hard time trying to of shut him down. I feel like they could have won that early game if they tried to pressure a little bit more on that Kilgrath.